Hi, this is Jerry Bowyer, and you're watching the Eagle Investing Network. Make sure to hit subscribe if you haven't already, and also make sure to share a link to this video with some other folks. A lot of you have been asking me questions about inflation, about the labor shortage, and about the supply chain disruptions. Well, those aren't three questions. Those are really one question. Or let me put it this way, they're three questions that have one answer. The answer is demographics. We are in the midst, really in the beginning of what will likely become a more severe demographic crisis. Let's take a look at the data, shall we? This is working age population going back to 1978. And this is the change. So this is 1 year change. So you see down there that zero line. In that zero line, the working age population would neither be increasing or decreasing. Above the line, the working age population is increasing. More people are joining the workforce, or at least the age in which they can be in the workforce. They can be of that age and still be on welfare or independently wealthy or whatever, or usually welfare is probably more likely. Or below the line is people are on net leaving the working age population. So this is a change. This is a 1 year change. So let's look at the data. You see back in 1978, every year almost they're increasing. Now, it might not be increasing as much in the 80s, but still it's all above the zero line. The working age population is growing. This is boomers. This is the boomer demographic, and then you have the millennial demographic coming online as working age population. And then in 2017, for a moment, not a whole year's worth, but for a moment, like a quarter, it dips below. And then from 2019 forward, we've had decreases in the working age population. What does that mean? That means a lot of things. It means that we have more people drawing out of Social Security and Medicare rather than paying into it. It also means we have people who are too old to work, or if they're not actually physically too old to work, they're eligible for pension plans or for Social Security, so they don't work. And that means a declining workforce, and that means fewer people to do the work. Fewer people to do the work means that puts pressure upward on wages, which is a good thing to have higher wages. It's a good thing to have higher wages when the economy is growing. It's not such a good thing to have higher wages when you have a worker shortage and we're not getting the work done. And these worker shortages and supply chain disruptions are somewhat inflationary. Let's go take a look back at the data. A big driver of this happens just before here, which is Roe versus Wade, and the abortion and partly the contraception revolution. I'm not here to make moral evaluations, although I clearly do have some moral opinions. I am here to talk about demographic effects. That 64 million abortions is 64 million people who are not in the workforce. Let's go back to the data. 64 million people not in the population. That's roughly 44 million who would be younger than age 50 and older than 18. So in that workforce population, there's 44 million people that aren't showing up, really starting here, but that aren't showing up here. We're missing 44 million people, 24 million in prime working age. The highest abortion rate, that would be, those people would be 32 right now. So this would look a lot different. This whole thing would be higher, first of all, and we wouldn't have this steep decline if not for the 44 million people who would now be of working age, assuming nothing else changes, die of other causes or whatever, who would now be in the workforce. So that has severe long-term consequences for our economy. In fact, in a future video, we're going to look at some data from the Congressional Budget Office, which acknowledges that our chief economic growth problem is an aging workforce. In other words, a declining demographic. It's important, and investors need to take this into account because it is the driver of very many macroeconomic factors, consumer patterns, and the very productivity of business corporations in which we invest. Because if they can't find workers, then they can't be as profitable. I'm Jerry Bowyer. Thanks for joining us on the Eagle Investing Network. Please hit subscribe and share this video with somebody else. Thank you.